Namaskar. Welcome back to another live. This is Aditya Soma. If you're new to this channel, on this channel I talk about real estate, financial freedom, how to achieve financial freedom using real estate. And like I mentioned on today's live, I would like to talk about where Canada is heading with this the real estate because we have seen pretty crazy amount of price changes in last few months. And also, yesterday itself, Bank of Canada announced another 25 basis points increase in the interest rate. So, damn, another increase. So, let's talk about them. I take this live as an opportunity to help you answer any questions you have related to real estate. If you're looking to buy an investment property or looking to sell or looking to buy your first home, anything that you're trying to achieve that is related to real estate, or even if you're a new agent who wants to get some help, or you're trying to get a real estate license. If you have any questions, then this live is for you. So please, if you're joining me live, let me know what's your name and where you're joining the live from. One second. Hope I put my mic away, so I don't know if you guys heard me so far. Hello, everyone, again. So don't be hesitant to put your name and where you're joining the live from. And any questions you have, let me know in the comments below. If you've been enjoying the show, give me the thumbs up. Glad to see you, Sarvesh. Looking forward to see you on 31st. I know many people have asked me, about meetups. We have a meetup coming up. That's the latest news. We have a meetup coming up on February 10th in Windsor that I'm hosting. So if you would love to learn about real estate, and I would love to meet you guys in person. With this virtual, the life became so virtual. So why not we mingle in person and enjoy some Indian spicy food? I have the link on my Instagram. If you search for my name, Aditya Kumar Soma, you will find it on Instagram, same name. On the bio, you will see the link for the Eventbrite, where you can come and join me, and we can have some good chat and food. Ahilia from Windsor. Who is this Ahilia? Sounds like my baby name. So I can hear my baby sounds. I don't know if you guys hear. Don't be hesitant. Make sure treat it as a nice, soothing music. So she's gonna make some music. Sorry if you guys don't know. Mamta is my wife and Ahilia is my daughter. She's 3 months old, 3.5 now. She started to make nice music. She's trying to communicate with us with her cute voice. So don't be scared if you hear a noise. She's just trying to say hi to you guys. So with that, welcome again. Basically, what I have seen in December month in Windsor, our average home price has dropped, like I mentioned in the other lives. And now this month, I'm seeing the activities are picking up. Just a quick update on the Windsor market, on especially the low price point properties, because because of this interest rate hike, now the prime rate is sitting at 6.7. So that means the qualification, for someone who would qualify for a property, their qualification gone down a bit again. So if you're a homeowner, if you already have a mortgage, and if you have a variable mortgage, then you're probably, for every $100,000, your mortgage went up by another $15. So make sure, keep an eye on that one. Hi, Karan from Brampton. Samba, I love that name. Samba from Brampton. A lot of Brampton people. Mohammed from Edmonton. Hey, Mohammed. Manjot, how much down can real estate go in percentage? Sorry, I just joined. Interested in buying in Windsor. So if you're interested in buying in Windsor, make sure to reach out to us, because my team is way more than happy to help you guys educate and help you to go through this process, put you in the right place. So we can jump on a call, discuss. details. I put our website link there. There we have a contact page, or you can DM me on Instagram. It's with my full name. Um, so to answer your question, Manjut, how much percentage down? Like, so from the market peak in Windsor, average home price was 723,000. This is in April 2022, and today in December we are at um, 473,000, which is, if you do the math, approximately 35% drop that happened. And mm, the biggest reason for this is, of course, the one major reason is the increase in the interest rate. Because when we in April, our interest rate was around like 1.8. The prime rate was around 1.8 or 1.9, somewhere around there. And now we are sitting at 6.7, more than triple. That's crazy to happen in just less than 1 year. So what I'm predicting, this is my predictions again, everyone, I love to hear your opinions. Let me know what you guys think and I'll share mine, right? So what I think is going to happen this year, um, I'm seeing a little bit more stability. It's like, there is less inventory and also less buyers. There's still buyers out there, there's still sellers out there. But in December, November and September, August, those times, there were no buyers. Like literally, like the inventory was more, the buyers were less. Now the inventory I actually gone a little bit down. Today I have listed I had a listing. Probably if you have seen my reel, a most affordable home I listed for 239, a cute small house, 3 bedroom 2 bath, sold got 14 offers. I, of course, I cannot disclose the price, because I just got offered literally just hour ago. But it got 14 offers because that got bidding war and all. And that's happening mostly in the smaller property areas. Like in Windsor, I have seen bidding war going on, especially in this month, January month. The sales went up. I'm waiting to get the data, but in my opinion, this year I don't think we will see as crazy as drop that we have seen in 2022. Because 35% is pretty crazy. But again, there is some exceptions. If the Bank of Canada increase again, then that could impact. We might see another 5% drop, or even 10% drop. Or, and another exception is like, if more if people are losing their jobs. Because like we have seen news in US, Facebook, different big companies, they're laying off hundreds of people, even thousands of people. So if that happens in Canada, so far Canadian economy shows pretty strong, except the inflation rate. They're just fighting with the inflation rate. But from a jobs point of view, the layoffs are not that much. If that increases, because there are some articles talking that interest rate impact would not be shown right away. It will be shown within like 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road. So they've been consistently increasing. This month they increased, last month they increased, and before that also increased. They started with 100 basis point increasing, went down to 75, went down to 50 twice, and then 25. So they've been increasing. So um, how much impact that going to have on the small businesses, and also big businesses? If businesses start laying off, maybe we might continue to see the price drops. um, but what I'm thinking, based on my all these readings from different articles, following some big guys, seeing their analysis, I think this year probably we might not see the crazy drop like we seen last year. We might see another 5 to 10%. And we might see a stable market where it's not dropping, but at the same time it's not increasing, until the Bank of Canada step up and saying they will reduce their interest rates. Maybe that could happen from end of the year. This is what my thoughts on what could happen in Canadian market. But again, I could be wrong, I could be right. I love to hear your opinions. If If you're someone, like me, who love to read about what's happening in the market and you have an opinion, please do share. Because I believe everyone have their own expertise, everyone has thought process, everyone have access to this Google, right? So let me know, what do you think is happening in the market? What do you think would happen in next one in this 2023? Let me know in the comments below. And Daryl, what is the probability of getting approved for a mortgage for a property in Windsor for max 500K for a family income approximately 100K up? So if again, that the approval depends on your income plus expenses. But a rough number generally any mortgage person would tell you is, if you're making 100K family income into 400,000 mortgage you can get. So if you want to buy a property for 500,000, you need 100,000 down payment, and you can get a mortgage for 400,000. That's a rough number. And this is where bank, any mortgage person can help you. If you're looking for Windsor, just DM me. I'll put you in touch with one of my good guy who is very good at mortgages, who is creative enough to help you find creative solutions. Basically, sit down with a mortgage person, sit down, give them all the details. Because I don't know how much loans you have, I don't know what balances you have on your credit card, I don't know if you have any car payments, any student loans. So all those things does matter. You have the mortgage person, when he pull his your credit history and when he asks you for all your information, he will know how much debt you have. And then he will consider your income and make you qualify. And also, sometimes if you're looking at a 500,000 property, but if that 500,000 property is a duplex and you're willing to live in one unit, they take even income, potential income of that other unit, and plus your income, so you might qualify more than that. The four times is a general number. So I always recommend sit down with a professional who can give you a better idea, because that's very, very important. And that way you can make a better, you can take your next step carefully. Because that's the first step. Like, getting in touch with a mortgage person is the best first step. And of course, it's Windsor, right? DM me. I'm more than happy to jump on a call. My assistant will respond you with a scheduling a call with me. And we can discuss more about your plans and all. Any update on what's happening in rental license in Windsor? Phil, actually, first of all, hi, Phil. Hope you're doing great. Good to see you here. I'm still waiting, man. I haven't heard back from anyone saying they have heard from city about this licensing. Yes, it's technically already in place, but we haven't heard. Like, I haven't got any letters. I have a couple of properties in that area. I haven't seen any news after the bill was passed. So technically, yes, it's in place. But you have a property there? Have you got any letters or anything from the city? I haven't seen anything. I haven't talked to any clients. Sorry, any clients haven't mentioned to me so far. If you have, let me know. Abdul, how about rents? Will they go down as well? Man, I don't think the rent will go down right now, because the Canada is trying to bring more immigrants. They're already in the process of, taking immigrants already. They said 400,000. Where they going to go? They're not going to build 400 homes right now. So that means there will be still demand for rentals. There is not enough supply. I was talking to one of my partner today, and her husband is a policeman here, who deals with the community, and he was telling he's getting calls constantly from students. Some students are sleeping in the car. I'm like, why? Because they couldn't find place in Windsor. So imagine, like, in places like Toronto, same situation, right? Like, there is more people coming in. January intake, there were a lot of students came for Windsor. Same thing, I assume, and there are a lot of experienced, like, through express entry, a lot of qualified people are coming in. So they're planning to bring 400,000. So I don't think the rents will go down. I hope they will stay where they are, because they're increasing quite a lot from last, comparative to 4 years ago, 5 years ago. um, but hoping they'll stay where they are so that people can afford on that. Hey Phil, Sarvesh, would you suggest BRRR on the first property which to be house hacked? Sarvesh, very good question, and here's my answer. If you're a first time home buyer and if you're buying a home with a BRRR in mind, first of all, know what BRRR is. The concept, BRRR concept came into picture for a reason. There are investors who put 20% down on a properties. Let's say you're buying a 500,000 property. If you're putting 20%, which means 100,000, your money is stuck in the deal. And the BRRR concept got birth because this money is stuck. How can I take my investment out as soon as possible from my property? Because I have 100,000 out there. If I don't take it out, I cannot invest until I save that much money. So that's when the BRRR came into picture, right? So now with the first time home buyer concept, you're doing a BRRR strategy from the day one, because you can technically buy a house for 5% down. And even if you have to improve anything in your property, you can ask the bank for improvements cost. So here's the example. I bought my first property, which is a duplex, and that needed cosmetic work. And I was qualified for mortgage plus some improvements. So this is where your qualification also important. So if you're buying a property where you're putting 5% down, let's say it's a 400,000 property and you qualify for 500,000. So you got this 400,000 property, and this property needs some cosmetic updates. So you're asking the bank, let's say I need another 30,000 has improvements, and the bank approved you. So you only pay 5% on the total amount, 430,000, you only pay 5%. Now, technically, how much money you have in the deal? 5% of 430,000. If someone following me, put the number in there. If I have to give a rough number, 21,000. Even more specific, 5%. So for 400,000, it's 20. For 30,000, it's another 500, 1,500. So 21,500. That much money you're putting in, and plus your closing cost. That's another, let's say 2,000, because you're a first time home buyer. You don't have land transfer tax. All you have legal fees, which is less than $2,000. So 2,000, 21,600. So all in, you're at 25,000. So technically, where is 100,000 BRRR strategy, where you have 100,000 in the deal? Where is 25,000? Technically, you don't have money in the deal. So what's the point of thinking about BRRR? You do the improvements. You took the money. You're getting experience with the renovations, but you cannot refinance and take even that 25,000. That's very tough, unless, especially in this market, even challenging. But imagine that you don't have too much money. Now go rent some of your places, save money, and use that money to invest into your second property. But when you're going for second property, when you're buying it as an investment property, when you're putting 20% down, this is where you have to become creative, so that make sure you take your money out within 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. And here's another catch. Many people have been asking me in recent times, is it a good time, or is it a time where can I still do BRRR strategy? Because the market has changed, right? The market is dropping every day. The reality is, unless you find a really, really, really good deal where you bought like 20% less than the market value with the current market value, unless that case, BRRR strategies are becoming challenging. They're possible. With your creativity, you can do creative ways to increase value on a property and refinance and take your money out. But because the prices has been dropping consistently for last almost 7-8 months, it might be little challenging. So with the current situation, like I said, even if you're buying a property that needs some cosmetic work, maybe buy something that need like that, but don't do any renovations. Because if you're putting renovations in, when you refinance, if your value doesn't come up, your money you invested, also the money you invested for renovation, stuck there. Rather, My suggestion here is what I've been suggesting for my clients and for myself as well: buy a property that is nice and clean, livable, but not updated. And this suggestion is only for investors, not first time home buyers. First time home buyers, different story. For investors, buy a property that is nice and clean and livable, but outdated, little bit old, you know, old painting, old flooring, but it's nice and clean and livable. You can rent it out, and the rent will pay for your expenses. Then buy the property, just for now, rent it and sit on it, because right now the market has dropped by 30-35%. And if the market start picking up, we have seen in Canada, at least from what I researched, the 2008 crash, that was for almost one and a half year. It recovered back to what was the peak. That was recovered in one and a half year. The worst times, like in 1950s or 60s, somewhere in there, it took like 4 years. So let's assume you bought this property and you sit on it for next 2 or 3 years, and let's assume the market picked up and it started to go up where it was. So now you can refinance, or even after 1 year, when you start to see the market picking up, then you can go get the property vacant and do the improvements at that point. So that way you're not holding too much money into one deal. That's what my thought process on the BRRR. If I'm right, is that improvement cost hold by the lawyer and then released when you showed the expenses? Correct if I'm. So yes, that's right. Again, every bank does it differently. So generally it will be either held with lawyer or within the bank, with the mostly with the lawyer. They will release you once you're done with the renovation. So that means you have to use your money to do the renovations, but the bank will appraise the property and then they will release you that funds. Steve, amazing information. Thank you, Steve. Akshat, is it a good time to get licensed as a realtor? I'm based in Calgary and I'm complementing between Alberta and Ontario to get real estate license. By the way, I moved to Canada 2 years ago, 2 months ago. Oh my God. Welcome to Canada, bro. Um, so, is getting a license a good time? In my opinion, that question depends on you. Are you willing to do sales? How good are you with people? How motivated are you? Self motivated, because sales is at the end sales. No one likes salespeople. Let's be real, right? Like if you get a sales call, do you talk to them? Do you enjoy talking to them? Only thing that goes in your mind, this guy's trying to sell to me something. I just want to put the phone down, right? So that means you have to become good at your craft if you want to make good money. So that's number one. I don't know what is your skill set is. I don't know how much motivated person you are. And the other thing, you said you're still new months into the Canada, 2 months into the Canada, so I'm assuming you don't have too many connections and all, and you don't know too much about real estate. um, so that's another thing. But is it not doable? I don't. I have a reel coming up with my cousin. This guy moved to Canada just 9-10 months ago, and he got his license. Sorry, 1 year ago, I guess. And now it's been a 1 year, and he got his license 7 months ago. And he joined me, Win City team, as a brand new agent, new to the country, no connections, but he's a people person. He enjoys, he enjoys talking to people, and a very good person in general, and with a very good soul to help people. So, and with the right help from me, now he sold 13 properties so far in just 7 months. Just last month he made 4 sales. This month it's already what, 26th, he made 3 sales. So now it's a compound effect. Now he got into the he grasped all the information. He's a very quick learner. He learns whatever I give a task, he learns it. So if you're someone like that, hey, find a good mentor in whichever the area you're in. There is good realtors in every city, and good realtors always willing to take people who are really can prove themselves, like they're serious. So If you're someone like that, go ahead and find some good mentor. Definitely you can do it. It's not rocket science, it's not impossible, but you got to put your 1000% best in it. You can make a killing living. Kiranjit, how can I get number for social media content guy? Social media content guy. Who is the social media content guy? You're asking my number. Sorry bro, I don't share content, but if you DM me, because it's online, and if you DM me, my assistant will schedule a call with you. She will look at my calendar, she'll schedule. I promise within a week, within a couple of days, she will schedule something based on your availability and my availability. If you're talking about me, if you're talking about my content, and I'm confused, bro. Just give me a little bit more details on what you mean by content guy. From your experience or from people you have met, have you ever came across a situation where the banks give the improvement cost right away and not wait until the renovation is done? Good question. I don't think I have came across. No, I haven't. And unfortunately, I don't know why not many people even use that. So basically, um, a lot of people, they use their line of credits or money from their friends. Some banks, they even ask to show you the renovation money even if it's in the line of credit. um, so that's something, a catch point there. But for me, my bank, they didn't ask me to show the money. I think I had a line of credit, I didn't had savings, I had only like down payment and the closing cost. um, but generally you can show in the line of credits, and once you're done, they can refund you. Johnny, yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Johnny. I was in one of your video. Karanjit, I'm confused, bro. You're in one of my video. My memory is not that great. Give me a little bit more clear idea what you were talking about. You were in one of the name doesn't ring the bell. Sorry, man. Please elaborate a little bit. How is the future of Windsor real estate market? I heard there are few large companies wanting to open up there. Trust me, I'm a huge brand ambassador of Windsor. I can talk on and on about this. I talked on multiple videos. So in short, definitely Windsor is growing. A lot of people coming into Windsor. Lot of new jobs happening, like the battery plant, because Windsor is an automotive industry company. Sorry, the city that depends on automotive industry. And in recent times, with mm, the demand for electric vehicles is growing. I think in next 5 or 10 years, it's going to be completely electrical vehicles. I think so. That's my thought process. Again, if anyone have a different opinion, please feel free to share. And that's because of that, Windsor is getting those companies that are depending on these electric vehicles, like battery plant. That is a huge, that is like bringing few thousand people, and the construction is going already. And the new bridge construction, because they think there's going to be more traffic, and it's already pretty traffic. One of the busiest border within Detroit and US. Sorry, Detroit and Windsor. And Detroit is also um, getting improved quite a lot. Like if you are in Windsor, you would agree with me. In 2019, 2018, people used to tell me, like, even we never dared to cross the border after 7 8 p.m. Never really dare to go into Detroit downtown, because it's scary out there at that point. But now it's beautiful. Now people go hang out there, because it's a lot of activities happening, lot of happening, because it's one of the biggest city. So it's growing, it's improving, and that is impacting positively on Windsor as well. And also, like, now a lot of young people, I have helped like at least 100 clients in last 3 years who moved to Windsor because they can work from home. They have a completely work from home option, or they have a hybrid model that means they have to go once or twice in a week or a month to for work, and they live here. So if that's the situation now, they can work from here, right? Like, that's the work from home option is becoming more and more real, and it's beneficial for both companies and employees. They're becoming more productive. They don't have to depend on the location. So yeah. How much rent can you get from a 200,000 house? So first of all, I haven't seen um, any inventory that's sold under 200,000, unless if it's a condo, one bedroom or bachelor, something like that. Detached homes, I have seen like 5 or 6 properties sold under 300, but that are like 2 bedroom, one bath, or has these condition properties. So let's say if it's a 2 bedroom, one bath, around 250, 300 range, you can expect a $2,000 income or 1,800. Depends on what size the property is. Depends on if you have a basement or not. So Arkan, how about new home buyers? New home buyers, I would say, buy a nice two unit property or a 3 unit property or a 4 unit property, based on how much cash you have, um, and how much you qualify for, with a 5% down. And if possible, buy something that is already turnkey, because technically you're not putting too much money into the deal. You're only putting 5% down. And make sure that numbers make sense to you. You can afford it. And if you can, find an option for renting some of the space in your house, so that you can bring your expenses down, so that you can save up money for your investment later on. Also, I recently came across Ontario first time homebuyer incentives. Do people actually use it? Um, there is a good side and a bad side on that Ontario incentive program, because they give you some incentives, but also they take partnership on that. Um, but one incentive is like land transfer tax. No land transfer tax for anyone who is buying a first time home for up to $4,000. So if your land transfer tax is 5,000, you don't pay $4,000. You only pay $1,000. That's one incentive people, everyone use it. It's by default. But the incentive is like, if you have a low household income, there is some requirements there. If you qualify for that, you can the government will give you like 5% on your behalf, the down payment, and they take 5% share, equity share on your property. So when you sell at some point, they get that 5% share. So there are certain incentives like that. Practically, I haven't seen any one of my client took that. If anyone know more about this incentives or any links, put it in there. I will read it, and maybe we can talk more about it in the next session. I have 300K with the best for me to buy an expensive house, or buy my first primary home and one investment property. So you know my answer if you've been following me, but still I will give you. I like the second approach. Buy a reasonable property where you can, still enjoy, and use the rest for investment, because investments will help you to build equity, build wealth for you and your family. If it's a home, you have a responsibility to pay all the expenses, right? Like if you're buying $1 million home and you're putting all that 300,000 into that $1 million home, the property tax, the insurance, and everything you're paying, unless you become a little smarter, where you have a nice, good size basement that you want to rent out. It's a nice home. You're enjoying the 2,000 square feet, whatever, and you turn your garage into another house. Use that money, so you have 3 units. You rent out. You live upstairs like a nice king, and you still collect the rents. And I have seen people like that. So be smart. Make sure you have someone paying your mortgages, because that way you don't have this too much overhead. Because knock the wood, what if your income stops tomorrow, right? Like, or if unless if you're in a financially strong, hey, go enjoy, buy a house and live it. I would buy a nice home at some point, when I feel like, okay, I can afford this house. I don't have to worry about liability. I would buy. at that point a nice home. So if you're at that point, again, this is where I cannot judge people, right? Like everyone is at a different place and everyone have different choices, and nothing is right or wrong. It all depends on what do you want in life, right? I'm just sharing my opinions because this is for people who thinks like me, who wants, like, me, who wants freedom, financial freedom. If you're someone like that, the second option is the best option. VK, hi Aditya. Do I want to wait until I receive my PR card to buy a home in Windsor? My PR card will take another 3 months, give or take. So if you already got your, approval, you're already a file picked up, and you're pretty much sure you'll get it in 3 to 4 months. You start looking, get ready. Don't sign on anything until you have 100% paperwork, because that would put you in a bad position. But if you find a really good deal and they're willing to give you like 4 months closing, 5 months closing, why not? But at least start putting the ducks in a row. Get your pre-approval. Get in touch with my team, because it's Windsor. So DM me. We can discuss more on that. Just start getting to know about the area. Go see some properties. Get an idea, because why to waste this time? It will take anyways few months or a month or two to understand the neighborhoods, to understand your needs, to get your funds ready, everything. So once all those things ready, when you're like at a final stage where you're PR, you surely that you'll get in a month or two. Just put 3 months closing or 4 months closing and buy it. Akshit, thanks a ton. You're welcome, Akshit. Since RE is hype local, what is the best market for a realtor going forward in your opinion? Windsor is obviously up there. Calgary and Edmonton, I think. What are the other markets? So since RE is hyper local, what is the best market for a realtor going forward in your? So I mean, again, look, if you are looking to become a realtor, um, location doesn't matter. You're new now. You're completely a blank slate. You can go into any city, just start learning about that city, that neighborhoods, that type of properties in that neighborhoods, and find a good mentor in that area. Sincerely, work with them for 1 year, 2 years, until you get a solid knowledge, until you get a solid grip in it. So you can, when you're a blank slate, you can learn about anything. So you pick the location. Honestly, that you make a decision based on what you really want, what location you like, where you want, where you see yourself living for next 5-10 years. Because real estate is something, like you said, hyper local. So it takes few years to become an expert in that area. So that means you have to enjoy living in that area. So you pick that city based on your needs. I'm not going to say which one is right, which one is wrong. For me, Windsor is the best, because that's my choice. My wife likes it, and I love it here because it's very convenient. If I want to fly to India, I can go to Detroit airport, boom, 30 minutes. Same thing like if I live anywhere in Toronto, airport takes me, unless if I'm beside airport. Um, and yeah, looking going around within the city, everywhere it's 10-15 minutes. So, and I feel like this is, after India, this is my second home. I definitely feel like, not the whole Canada, I feel Windsor is my second home. So pick your choice based on your needs. Had there any idea what cost is for a 2 bedroom legal basement? Do you have anyone who can recommend? So Sukhjit, it depends on so many elements, because what's your current basement height? Do you have how is your window size right now? Excuse me. Do you have a grid entrance? Do you have anything finished at all? Do you have plumbing for a kitchen or not? So it's hard to give a rough number. Rather, like you said, recommendations, DM me on Instagram. My good friend Savio, he is the expert in this legal. He's right now, he's enjoying his vacation, but he will be back in a couple of days. If you search for real estate investor Sav on Instagram, he's active there. Maybe DM him. He can come and give you a quote. Alex, Hi, right now for 400K, do I have any cash flowing properties in Windsor? Very good question, Alex. Thank you for asking. Let me put a link here. I have a property that is a legal duplex, have a third unit. So technically, it's 3 units, fully tenanted. R- Current rents are $3,172, and the property located in Walkerville area. Very nice location, and literally just steps from riverside. Yep, just literally you can see the riverside from the property. So pretty good location, pretty good income. Currently listed for 339,000. Yep, 339,000. You heard it right, 3 units. So I'm gonna put the link in here. Check out the details and DM me if you're interested. I can send you the info sheet, video tour, and all those details. Um, there you go. It's in there. And we have other properties coming up too. Different type of properties based on your needs. We can talk more on that. Dear Alex. Shailaja Reddy. Hi Aditya, is it the right time to buy an investment house in Canada with this high interest rates? So, in my opinion, yes, because we have seen such a massive price drops in most of the cities. Again, not every city, but most of the cities. So, which means you're buying at a discount. Yes, you're paying higher interest rate, but the interest rate are not permanent. The prices are permanent. What I mean, when you pay a price on the property, let's say you're buying a house for 500,000, you cannot change that. But if you're getting a 5% interest rate right now, maybe just go for 2 years fixed. There is high chances that interest rates will change by end of that 2 years. You might get for 3% interest rate that time, or you might get for 4%. We don't know. The interest rates will change often, not the price you paid. But the chances, because now you're getting for a pretty, almost from a peak time, 30-35% drop. What are the chances of going further another 20-30%? In my opinion, very very less, maybe another 5%. But can you time the market with this demand, the amount of new immigrants coming in? And once the economy, once they stop increasing interest rates, once again the supply and demand issues start to pop up. Canada has been like this for years because of the immigration, the number of new immigrants coming into the country, and the new developments is not happening as fast as the people coming to Canada. So because of that, the prices were going up. So, but even not only that, I generally not I'm not a big fan of buying some $1 million home that can only produce you $300, $3,000, $2,000, $4,000. I would rather buy a property even with interest rates, at least the property that can pay for itself, so that you're not paying any money from your pocket. Your tenants paying that interest, your tenants paying your expenses. So you're just sitting on that property until the market turns back, and sit on it for next 5 years, 10 years. And we all know the real estate over period will improve, and your property will be worth way more than what you bought today. And on top of that, the guaranteed thing is your tenants will pay down your mortgage for next 10 years, 20 years. That's guaranteed. If you're buying in cities where the immigration is increasing, where there is good amount of population, where there is vacancy rate is very low, where the jobs are increasing. So that's my suggestion. Honestly, it's hard to time the market perfectly, but you can buy it and sit on it for years. It's like the real estate investor saying, hard to time the market, but you can be in the market for good amount of time. Muzaffar, I'm not able to buy a suitable detached home in GTA with 200K income and 100K down. I don't see a point in buying after searching for 2 years. I used to live in Michigan, where one can buy a 4 BHK for 200,000. There you go. That's true, right? Like, that's exactly why Windsor is also, getting popular, and where people are looking at it. So US is completely different. I don't want to compare with US and Canada, because US has a lot more land. Even Canada has it, but US, they build a lot, comparative to Canada, and US gets impacted very quickly. When the market shift happened, like, you will see zip 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 zip, very quick increase, very quick decrease. Whereas in Canada, I have seen that stability is much more based on the history. Again, I haven't been here for long enough. I've been 10 years. In my 10 years, I always like seen consistent growth, and there was like one, two, three times so far. 22, 2000, in the when the COVID hit first time, um, and this time, where there was a drop in the prices. And they're pretty steady, except now this time was the very quick drop, because we have seen that COVID time, there was like very quick increase. What is your opinion on women in real estate? Now real estate is getting dominated by women. They're great. You guys, if you're a woman, Prasanna, I'm assuming, but you have a market advantage, especially if you're talking about sales side. Women have market advantage because women knows a little bit more on the house side. They know how to showcase the house well. Yeah, so you mean as a realtor, yeah. But again, at the end, honestly, this woman gender differences has gone. No more, not in Canada at least. I know in back home it's still there, but in Canada, I haven't seen any gender difference. I have seen women killing it in Windsor in different markets. I have seen, men and women both, whoever has passion for the business, who has the right mindset, who develops the right mindset, who develops the knowledge, who develops the uh, connections, are going to crush it. So it doesn't matter women or men. Trust me, don't let that stop you. I have seen many women who killed it, nailing it. So don't let that stop you. Awesome. So I know it's a long day. Today I have a guest at home, so I'm going to drop up quickly. Unless if you guys have any question, I'll be staying for another 1 minute. And I'll take this 1 minute to quickly introduce you guys to one of my new agent, who is sitting right here and just been listening. So maybe you guys can ask any questions for new agents. Anyone who is looking to get a license, let me just put him here. There you go. Oops. Camera. Okay, here you go. Oops. Okay, here. Yes, so welcome, Vinish. Probably you didn't expect me.
Yeah. Hey guys,
So, by the way, guys, Vinish is a brand new agent who just got his license, and he just joined Win City team. Completely brand new for industry. Uh, so, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself? Why did you join? Why did you actually first of all decide to get your license?
so myself Windsor, Venish. I stay in Windsor like last 6 years. As every immigrant goes through the cycle, right? I hardered every hard way like to get an additional income, right? Because 9 to 5 or nothing's gonna get us out of this hurdle, right? So I figured out nothing's gonna be easier, and we have to beat, right? and and I had more interest on honestly on real estate, to be very honest, back home. So that gave me another drive, and then of course, like me, mentors like Aditya and Killing in Windsor. How can I miss those educational contents like those, like especially, I mean, I have to mention Aditya, not just because he's here, like he is like truly inspirational, like people like us and people who have been in live too. So So yeah, keep your motivation going on. I mean, I always say that thing. I mean, we have to push ourselves. We don't push ourselves, nothing's gonna come and push. And
And
I
how
push.
long did it take you to get your license?
So for myself, it took 7 months.
And you're working full time, right?
Yes, and I regretted I would have done it like little bit.
No,
I
that's
could
pretty
have.
average, actually. Pretty. I took me 6 months as well.
So I tried it, but family situation, stuff like that. So even 7 months, I could do it. Like if you guys are killing it for full time, you can even do it very very short time. You can do it.
And now you're still working full time and doing part time as a real estate. So, what's your plan with that? Like, how long you want to do, and um, what's your opinion, or how do you feel about going about that, being part time realtor and working full time?
I mean, it's tough. It's tough balance, right? So how do we plan our time? I put that way, the wording together. So you can do multiple things in the work too. You can do multiple things in your part-time times too. End of the day, how much hour doesn't matter. How much quality of work you put into it. You just manage your time. Find your way. Find the ways where you're wasting time, cut it out. I did that. To be very honest, I haven't seen last a movie in a theater. Like after 7 8 months, I just went for one movie after getting the all my exams cleared. Like it sounds so crazy, but for some people, if you want to do it, yes, there are ways.
That's the key. The reason I agreed to take you on the team, because you're so committed and you're doing your content while you're working full time. You took your exams even though when you had a new baby. So, by the way, he has a son who born a day after Ahilia.
Yeah, all October month theme.
Yeah, yeah. So we have some questions here. What is your suggestion for a woman who is thinking of becoming a realtor? To be honest, we have less percentage of women when compared to men. I would disagree with you. The women realtors actually growing nowadays, and you have a market advantage, because who takes care of a home? At least in my home, my mom used to take care of home, and now my wife take care of the home, and she knows, I love this, I love that. At the end, doesn't matter in this country. The dynamics has changed. There is no gender differences. If you're knowledgeable, if you're confident, if you really love what you're doing, and you help people genuinely, with the solid tools and knowledge, you can kill it. Find a good mentor, in just like Vinish did. If you whom you, can you resonate with, if you have anyone who is a rage, if you just want to join a person who actually can give you that confidence that you can do it, go join that person for a year to get as much as knowledge as possible. Couple of quick questions for me. What are the good areas to buy in Windsor that cash flow? How are the student rentals? As I see a lot of international students coming in, so student rentals are always student rentals. The good side of student rental is there is high demand. Downside is, of course, you have to have a little bit more hands-on comparative to family rentals. um, Coming to the good areas where you can buy cash flow. So first of all, my personal choice is, the Walkerville is one of the best area, and East Windsor, where you can, if you can find some duplexes or single families where you can add a basement suite, or good neighborhoods. There are other good neighborhoods like South Windsor, LaSalle, Tecumseh, Ford City, but those areas cash flow is um, close to impossible, because you don't find duplexes in that area, and generally the single families are over, give or take, 500 range or more than that. So if you're buying a single family for 500, that is making you $2,500. Obviously, it's not going to make positive cash flow. Whereas if you are buying a single family home in a Walkerville area, or in East Windsor, where you can still buy for like 400,000, 380,000, 350,000, where you put 20% down, that will make positive cash flow, because the rent is not a big difference. You can still get a decent 3 bedroom 2 bath house. You can get a income of at least 2000, 2200, depends on what amenities you have in the house. So, and if you can find a nice, decent duplexes, Walkerville is the area. Since the cash flow is great for a property you mentioned in the link, that is around 300, why do the owners still sell? Because the owners want to get rid of the old property. Just curious. I can, Venkatesh, there is sellers with different motivations. They have different financial situation. Everyone is in a different place, different time, with different motivations. So, not everyone, cash flow is a thing. So, for example, I just sold a property today. This client bought the same property just 8 9 months ago for 100,000 more than he sold it for. 100,000 more than he sold it for. And this property would at least pay for all the expenses if he hold on to it. He still didn't, because for him, the current business he's in, that is his main focus, and he was not intending to manage this property. His partner, whom he joined with, supposed to manage that property, and the partner, you know they split up. So whatever the reasons, they split up, and this guy, it's driving him crazy. He would rather take the loss now and focus in his business, where make more money. That was more important for him. And there was another client I met a couple of days ago. Same thing. They have a different story. Like, one partner actually died, and now the partner's, kids wants the money out. So now they don't have an option. They want to sell. So different motivations. It's not about the property always. For you as a buyer, what's important? If you are worried about the property, get a conditional offer, or go take an inspector, inspect the property thoroughly. Make sure it has no issues. Make sure the structure is good. Make sure the mechanical is good. Make sure the roof is good. If there is any issues, maybe negotiate price. So that's how I look at it. Because if the positive cash flows will not be sold by every owner, if only money is the thing, then never a positive cash flow property will be sold on the market. So unfortunately, that's not the real world. Real world, there is so much emotions along with the money. What is your guess about the next BOC interest rate hike? Bank of Canada, I think they might not increase. If they do, 2.5%. I mean, 25 basis points. But I think they're not going to increase the interest rates. So yeah, it's pretty much it. Let me just quickly check the question. Any more questions here? Which is the best and reasonable place to live near Toronto, where we are switching to Toronto on February 10th? We are switching to Toronto on February. Best reasonable places to live near Toronto. Windsor. Windsor is the best place to near Toronto. It's only just 3.5 hours. Bhavanti, hi, thanks for awesome content. Want to ask if one can become a mortgage agent or a realtor, open work permit. Do we still need PR? I just found out, actually, my cousin, he's still on work permit. So he's doing real estate. You can do real estate on work permit. I don't know about mortgage license. Maybe just go check requirements for mortgage license. There is some specific website. Just Google, you will get more information there. I think you don't need a PR. I think you can get. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Vinesh, thank you for
Thank you.
joining me,
Thank you
and
so much,
welcome
bro.
for Win City. So
Thank
if you hear from any one of them, just make sure take good care of him. And
Sure.
I wish you the best. I am
Thank
really have a high expectations for you
Thank you.
and
You're
high
the best.
targets. So so wish you the best. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Always the time just flies when I talk to you guys. So thank you, and have a wonderful evening. And don't forget, if you guys need any help in Windsor, let's jump on a call. Of course, I cannot give the number online, but my assistant will schedule a call if you guys send a DM on Instagram, or just email us at info@wincityrE.com. My assistant will, she is very quick, always on time. Monday to Friday, she's always in front of the desk, and just looking to schedule appointments. with me or my audience. So looking forward to talk to you guys. Have a wonderful evening.
See you guys.